Hello, welcome into the Starters Podcast Edition. I'm Dave, that's George, and that is Simon. How's it going, boys?
Going well. Just saw Zach Hyman miss a breakaway, so ouch.
I'm doing the Scotty Scheffler driving courses, so I'm doing good.
Nice, very nice, very nice. If you could bypass traffic, that's the way to do it. You know?
Well, I was talking golf. Wasn't
Oh,
talking.
okay, driving.
Driving.
Gotcha.
It's not the same thing.
Fair enough.
Play on
Well
words.
played.
Play on
Well
words.
played. Well
Thank
played.
You. Thank you.
Don't forget to follow us on Instagram, Twitter, TikTok, and subscribe to us on YouTube. Everything's at the Starters 690, and of course, you could follow, the show at Saturdays and Sundays, 7 to 9 a.m. on TSN 690. This podcast brought to you by Club CDL. Check them out, clubcdl.com, the best premier sports club in all of Montreal. They have tennis, they have squash, they have pickleball, they have everything going for them. Check them out there. They have a nice two-story gym, and summer memberships are well on their way, so you get a good deal there. And if you want to send your kids to summer camp, check it out, clubcdl.com. All right, question number one, boys, brought to you by Cunningham's Pub. Cunningham's Pub, 20% off. It's their 20th anniversary, so 20% off all Sleeman products for the entire month of May. So you have until Friday to do that. And they have some nice live music this weekend, including a key member of the Damn Truth performing on Saturday. So that's pretty.
Does Melnick know?
I'm pretty sure he knows. I would say that he's in the loop. I'm pretty sure he's in the loop.
That's one of his favorite bands or local bands.
Yeah, of course. And Leela Baum is the one that's gonna be there. The singer, she will be there singing on Saturday, performing on Saturday. So that's pretty cool. And maybe Mitch will be there too. So if you want to meet Mitch Melnick, I can't promise you he'll be there, but he'll be there in spirit for sure, at least. All right. Question number one, guys, since it's fitting that it's brought to you by Club CDL, it's a tennis question. French Open well underway. We got some Canadians in there. Felix, obviously. They all went to the second round, all four of them. Felix Auger-Aliassime, Denis Shapovalov, Bianca Andreescu, and Leila Annie Fernandez. They've all went into the second round. But my question is more around this batch of Canadians, right? There was a big hype around them just like maybe 2 years ago. I just want to know, has your hype died down a little bit with this current batch of Canadian tennis players?
Yeah. Look, it still is the golden generation of Canadian tennis. They can still find themselves in quarterfinals, semifinals of slams. They can get to the finals of certain big time events. But if you're just rewind 2-3 years ago when Bianca at the U.S. Open, Leila with her run, Felix and Denis Shapovalov, even Milos, right? He was still in there, the older guard. I think, when this young group came on, I think it was towards the tail end of Milos's career, but you had five people that can, get out of the first couple of rounds of a major, and you would think there would be more victories, more moments. I believe Bianca Andreescu's back at this French Open. Well, she's definitely back, but there was quite some time there that she was off because of injuries. It seems like she's always a little bit banged up. So, it's a tough spot because you do have four quality players, but the end result is not what I would have expected a couple of years ago. If you watched Felix play and you watched Denis Shapovalov play from just the men's side, all the tools, all the shots, the big serve, everything else goes with it, athleticism, and there hasn't been enough. There's been enough wins. There hasn't been enough victories when it comes to tournaments. And on the women's side, you have the one victory, and then Leila getting to the final as well. I got to say, I'm a little bit, I'm not going to say disappointed. I'm just going to say a little bit underwhelmed. And the tail end here, the last 3-4 years, you're not getting peak Rafa. You're not getting peak Novak Djokovic. You might still be getting peak Novak Djokovic, but you're not getting peak Roger Federer. You're not getting peak Rafa Nadal. Still a good crew, but like Milos can say, Andy Murray can say they lived through that era of the peak of those three players. I'm not sure the young Canadians can. So a little bit underwhelmed.
George?
I'm over it, Dave. I'm over it.
Yeah.
Listen, there's been whispers of Bianca Andreescu, fair or unfair, about her fitness levels and stuff. That's been, talked about numerous times. I don't know enough about what her fitness routine is and how committed she is, but look, can she make a semifinal? Maybe. Is she going to win a tournament, a major tournament, a Grand Slam? I don't think so. And that goes for the rest of the Canadians too. We're far from the days of where Milos could come in and maybe win a tournament or two. There isn't really a Canadian right now. Whether we think Oje Aliassime is a guy that can come in and win a tournament. There really isn't a name that pops out to me that I'm like, this guy can just at any time turn it up and he's going to be in a final of a Grand Slam. That's where we are with Tennis Canada right now. And the unfortunate thing is, and I have some friends that are their daughters are heavily into tennis, and there is some up and coming good tennis players coming up soon. But for the foreseeable next 3 to 4 years, there's no one that's a rising contender. Now, can somebody come out of nowhere? And because many of these Canadians have come out of nowhere, whether it's Shapovalov or even Daniel Nestor back in the days, if we want to go real far back, name a blast from the past. These were not people that were necessarily superstars coming up and developed into really, really good tennis players. So hopefully that is the future, but I'm going to agree 100% with Simon. Underwhelmed, and I'm kind of done with it right now. Is Ginny Bouchard playing pickleball? What the heck's going on with that? All right.
Dave is a pickleball specialist.
Everyone's playing pickleball, George. Get on the bandwagon.
Okay.
Get on the bandwagon.
I listen. I take it back.
I liked your Daniel Nestor. He was like a tag team champion. If you want to go back to the wrestling reference, he was a king at the doubles. Right?
You can put him with anyone. You can put him with the Hammer. You can put him with Beefcake. You can put him with anyone.
Yeah, he's arguably one of the greatest doubles players ever.
Yeah, he's the man.
He had 91 doubles titles. Isn't that incredible? 91. It's just unbelievable.
I remember him beating Stefan Edberg, who was the number 1 ranked player in the world. I can't remember what the event was, but I do remember that Edberg was the number 1 player in the world, and that match was played in Vancouver. And I have no idea what happened. I have no idea what we're doing in Vancouver. Maybe one of those Davis Cup things. I don't know, but I do remember Nestor beating Stefan Edberg, shocking the tennis world.
I always wondered, maybe we'll have a CDL coach or something come on, but I always wondered why he's such a good doubles player. Like, it couldn't translate to me. You're an amazing tennis player, I know it's a different game, but the success, to me, it should translate and should follow a little bit over the singles. But anyways, Daniel Nestor, great reference. So kudos, George. I really liked that answer. Question number 2, brought to you by Christina's Cuisine. If you go to their Instagram page at Christina's Cuisine, they have some nice catering. They have examples of their catering and their takeout, and they have a nice spread on the table, and their caption is, "Why cook when you can have the best Greek food catered?" And I'm telling you, man, that looks amazing. I want that right now in my house at this exact moment. So you could give them a call, 450-934-8462. Visit them online at christinascuisine.ca, and their catering looks on point. I promise. You probably will not be disappointed. All right, so let's talk a little bit of basketball, please. The Minnesota Timberwolves down 3-0. We talked about them a lot on this podcast, but they managed to eke out a win, 105-100 over the Mavs yesterday. So I'm just wondering, can they pull it off?
Listen, I was thinking about that today. I was looking at first of all, we all know it's never been done in basketball, right? This has never been done. Crazy. Never. In the history of basketball, this has never been done. So therefore, I would say historically, it's not looking good for the Minnesota Timberwolves. So if I had to actually put money, I wouldn't put any. If it's Simon's money, maybe then I would put some money on it. I'd be okay with maybe putting a few dollars on the Timberwolves as a long shot. Look, I though there's something about them that I'm like, at any time I feel like they can, turn it on, because look, they were dead and buried, and I thought Game 4 was going to be a simple open shut case where the Mavs, Luka and Kyrie come in and do what they did in the first 3 games, and they've somehow found a way. It's kind of weird because it's almost like the Timberwolves gave up in the first 3 games is how I felt. I felt like it was the first time they got punched in the face and had no answer. So they have the talent. They have the ability to do it. I think the next game is the biggest game before Game 7, if there'll be a Game 7. And I'm going to tell you why. It's because they get a home game. They win that game. Anything can happen in a Game 7. Who knows? You win 2 in a row. That third one's not that far off. Look, are the chances that they're going to do it slim? Yes. I wouldn't bet my money, but Simon, your money's going on it.
Well, listen, it probably pays good odds. I wouldn't take that bet at straight money or anything. But look, it's never happened. But I also lived in a world for many, many, many years, many, many decades that no 16 seed ever beat a 1 seed. And I know that Virginia, that happened to Virginia, and I think Purdue, not too long ago, that they were 1 seeds and they got knocked out, if memory serves me well. And I think what's funny about that, both teams went on to win the NC2A championship the following year. So it didn't happen in forever. Is it going to happen? Eventually, it is going to happen. We see so much parity in the NBA. But look, they got to win Game 5. It's on their home court. The Mavs took the first 2 games. The Timberwolves going to lose 3 games in a row. That's pretty impressive. And some of the adjustments I like that the Timberwolves made in game number 4, they put Anthony Edwards on Luka. They try to switch it up a little bit. They brought a little bit more athleticism. There's an element there that how much is Anthony Edwards of that energy is he going to waste defensively? He's going to waste. Chasing Luka around the court. Luka's a big body, a physical body. He'll bump and grind you, and it doesn't seem much like it's on television. But do that for 2-3 quarters, that's going to take a toll on you. So, a couple of the adjustments. Karl Anthony Towns making a couple of big 3-pointers. If he's got one more big game for Edwards, then you go to Game 6, and there's no pressure on the Wolves at that point. They've saved face. They're a young team. Their best player, maybe the face of this league going forward, is only 22 years old. They got to a Western Conference final. All is good. The pressure will swing to Luka and Kyrie and the Mavericks. So it'll be interesting to see how it plays out. But again, when it's never been done, it's hard for me to sit here and tell you that the Wolves are going to come back and win this whole thing. But they do have the DNA. They do have the makeup of that. Exactly. They're the better team. I think they're the 2 seed. So we'll see how it plays out. Tough sledding ahead, but I don't think it's that far of a stretch, though.
Quick check of the odds, plus 2,500.
It's good bet, man. That's good. That's good value. That's good value.
Plus 2,500.
You need them to win 2 games at home and 1 on the road. It's not.
Simon, I'm gonna take your money and I'm gonna play some bets. That's what we're doing here.
All right. I think 2,500 to 1 is not bad.
And we're splitting it evenly among the 3 of us. That's what's important. All right.
Let's do it.
Question number 3 brought to you by Fresh MTL. You go to freshmtl.ca and you can spin the little wheel. I don't know. You can't actually see it, but you can spin a wheel and you can get up to 50% off. You can get free meals. You get all sorts of crazy things. And it's just fun to play, first off, and also fun discounts for whatever you get, because you'll always win a discount. They have custom meals, they have wraps, they have smoothies, they have everything going. They can bring it to you. They're on Uber Eats, and you can go pick it up as well. Just absolutely amazing. They have meal plans. You could make customized portions. Check them out at FreshMTL on Instagram and freshmtl.ca. All right, guys, we'll switch over to the local scene a little bit here. Montreal Alouettes, fresh off of a Grey Cup victory. They got their balling rings. We all know someone here, one of the starters, has a nice ring as well. And so they're just about to start their season pretty soon. And, of course, CF Montreal is well underway. I just want to know, guys, who needs to win in this city more? It's a weird question, but who needs to win more? Do the Owls need to win more, or does CF Montreal needs to win? What team right now needs to win more in this moment?
Okay, I'll go first here.
Yeah,
I lost track. What's going in the game? 2-2 still? All right. I think it's CF Montreal. I think the Alouettes. I think, I think that the new ownership with the Alouettes has paid itself off. He's walked in. You see new sponsorship. You see more people in in the crowd, so that resonated with the Als fans or people of this province. And they won, and they're a great story, and they were fun to watch. So they check a lot of boxes. It wasn't like I don't know. I'm trying to think of a championship team that wasn't fun to watch. Maybe Trent Dilford's Ravens weren't fun to watch.
The Devils,
maybe the Eli's Giants weren't the most fun team to watch, but this team was fun to watch. The way that the league kind of shackled them in the beginning, they had to let Geno Lewis, who was the best wide receiver in the Canadian Football League, walk because of the uncertainty with the finances, with the ownership, and who was going to be the ownership. So Alouettes, they win a championship. They've got a couple of years. But, as I was there watching the game today between DC United, CF1. I was there on a Saturday. I was there for the Messi game. I attend pretty regularly, and you can feel the growing frustration in the crowd in Stade Saputo. Today's win, 3 points, was massive. It'll resonate for a little bit, but there is an incredible amount of frustration with the CF fan base. And I would have to say ownership, front office, call it what you want. Very popular, sporting director was let go. Dimitri Koumantzidis as well was let go. So there's a little bit of that uncertainty. I think the fan base is kind of starving for a nice big-time acquisition. We saw Kamal Miller, Ismail Kone, Alistair Johnson, Georgi Mihalovic all walk after an outstanding season, and I don't think that void was filled. So I think that the CF fan base is much, much more frustrated, and I think there has to be production level from CF this year, because I think there's an element of the fans that have had enough.
George?
So listen, guys, the one thing I have to say about Montreal fans, they are many things. They are fickle, okay? They can be difficult. There's some stuff that matters here that doesn't seem to matter anywhere else, but they're not stupid. Montreal fans are educated, whether it's in hockey, whether it's in football, whether it's any sport. A Montreal sports fan knows what's going on. And when you look at the landscape of the MLS, there's 29 teams in the MLS. There's 9 in the CFL. CF Montreal is last in payroll. Last. And not last by a little. They're last by a lot. There's not money going into the team. The front office is in disarray. The little stability that was there has been run out of town. There's arguments within. Ownership going into the locker rooms. Stories coming out. There is so much of a black cloud right now around this team that they need something good to happen in the form of wins, in the forms of a feel-good story. Because when you think about what's happened, what's transpired in just the last 12 months, where Wilfred Nancy is coaching the Columbus Crew and winning a championship, and CF Montreal can't seem to keep a coach, can't seem to keep anything positive going, CF Montreal's in a lot of trouble right here. And the Alouettes, to their credit, new ownership comes in, they put some stability, they put some money in, they start winning, people start coming out, there's a real good feeling around the team, there's a positive vibe, and there's 9 teams. So there's a good chance the Montreal Alouettes, even if they have a bit of an off season, will return to the playoffs. CF Montreal right now, I wouldn't be betting on the playoffs, and it's starting to look like the Titanic. It's not looking good.
All right. So you guys both have CF Montreal down here as your answer. That's fair enough. All right. We'll move on to question number 4, and we'll talk about the game that Simon is peeking at over there. What's the score, Simon?
Oilers score.
I know. Okay. Perfect.
Wow. I didn't see that coming off a 2-0 deficit.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Of 3-2.
Okay.
Well,
all right.
Somebody did predict the Stanley Cup for the Oilers. I'm just going to say. I'm not going to say who.
Well, we shall see. We shall see. Question number 4 brought to you by EA Fitness. They're having a Beachbody sale, 20% off and a 1-day free trial. To check out what they're about, they have certified trainers They have nutrition consultations, and they have a weight and diet plan to get you into that perfect beach body. Guys, you guys have the perfect beach body going now? I can only see your heads, but it's looking good. Okay. Oh, whoa. Put those away.
I'm happy with beard.
Weapons.
Beard.
The beard's looking great.
Yeah.
The beard's looking great.
Vacation mode, so I'm good.
All right, check them out. eafitness.inc on Instagram. They have all sorts of great content on there, and I mean they're very well respected.
Oilers.
What'd you say? Sorry, I did not hear that.
4-2 Oilers.
4-2 Oilers. There you go. So a little bit of hope breathing into the.
It's going to be epic when they blow it in the third period. It's going to be amazing.
It's going to be a meltdown if that happens. But so basically that's my question right here. How much pressure is on the Oilers right now to win? They're in their second Western Conference final in, I believe, 3 or 4 years.
3 years.
So technically 3 years. So they're technically, on paper doing well, but obviously their expectations are through the roof when you have a guy like Connor McDavid and Leon Draisaitl on the team. So I just want to know for you, how much pressure is on this version of the Edmonton Oilers?
Can you hear that, boys? That's the window closing. The championship window's closing. That's what that is. Wow. I mean, Leon Draisaitl, I get the feeling is not going to be an Edmonton Oiler for much longer. There's a lot of money waiting for him in some major market where he is no longer in the shadow of the number one player in the NHL. And he's marketable. He's an unbelievable hockey player. That being said, can Connor McDavid do it with 3 number 6 defensemen and a backup goalie who's now been thrusted to the forefront as the starter? I don't know. I'm thinking they have enough to do it just because I offensively they are special. They really are. But there is pressure, and I think the pressure is being felt in the front office. I think the pressure is being felt with the star players. I don't think so much, Brett Kulak isn't trembling under the pressure. But, this group's got 9 years. Like, if the McDavid and Draisaitl group has had 9 years to win this. And for whatever reason, I'm not going to put it all on the players here, because definitely management has not done a great job, even this year, in surrounding them with enough pieces, support pieces, because, we were talking about it offline, Simon and I, Desharnais, CC, and Kulak, no offense. I mean, I'm not any better than them, but definitely I wouldn't want that as my, 4, 5, 6. Darnell Nurse is a serviceable NHL defenseman that I like, but I definitely wouldn't be paying him $9 million. That's complete lunacy. And whoever gave him that contract, I think it's Chiarelli. I believe it's Chiarelli. Should never manage anything. Nothing. Not even like a popcorn stand. If I am an Edmonton Oilers fan, I find out where Mr. Chiarelli lives, and I send him pizzas until the rest of his life. I cannot. No, $9 million for him. No, I can't do that. So, I mean, look, yeah, there's pressure. The Edmonton Oilers, though, could still do it, man. I'm telling you, they can still do it. And it's just because when you've got the 2 best players on your team and they're going, anything can happen. Anything can happen. And this is a real, it's one of those, like, we're going to find out, can an NHL team that is built this way, where it's completely unbalanced, where you've got a whole lot up front, a little bit in the back, and just some gaping holes everywhere, can you win a Stanley Cup? Because it's never been done. I can't think of a Stanley Cup team built in the manner the Edmonton Oilers are built, winning a Stanley Cup, without a real goalie, without, let's face it, a 4, 5, 6 defenseman. I don't know. We'll see.
Man, you can send me pizzas when you're mad at me all you want.
I got you. I got pizzas. Pizzas are coming. They're coming.
Simon?
Yeah, I think there's a ton of pressure here. I think they've got this year. I don't love their chances of winning, but they're one of 4 teams playing. I think there's an opportunity this year for it to happen. And then next year, I think it's, I said it a couple of weeks ago on the starters. I think maybe even during the Vancouver series, when it looked like they might not come back in that series. where they were down early in that series, and it was the most intriguing, fascinating offseason in Canada in the last, I don't know, 25, 30 years. Like Stamkos almost tested free agency. I guess the Tavares, but I think Leon Draisaitl is a bigger name and a better player than John Tavares.
Yeah.
So he's got 1 year left. They're going to get to the point next year and they're going to have to figure this out. Do you run it back into that playoffs, or at the trade deadline, do you trade Leon Draisaitl for whatever you want? I don't think you can trade him for whatever you want. I think you're going to stick around one more ride. But this time next year, if you're in a conference final or in the second round, that might be the end, and he might walk for nothing. And that's at that point, you're in a terrible predicament, because the next guy out the door is going to be Connor McDavid. And Connor McDavid, if they win this year, all bets are off. They can both walk. Who cares if you're an Oilers fan? You got your cup. Great, fantastic. And maybe Connor McDavid sticks around, but I do believe that Leon Draisaitl will test the open waters of free agency. I think he'll pick his spot where he wants to land. So the next 12 months in Edmonton are going to be some of the most fascinating months in this country's hockey history, maybe. You're talking about the first, the third, the fourth, the fifth best player in the world. Their contracts are up. Like we talk about Mitch Marner. No disrespect to Mitch Marner, but he's not Leon Draisaitl, and for certain he's not Connor McDavid. So this is it, man. If they can't get by Dallas here and knock off the Rangers and the Panthers, then you go into next year, two things will happen. Either you win the whole damn thing, or Leon Draisaitl walks for absolutely nothing. And you have to think, if Leon Draisaitl walks, Connor McDavid's going to follow him out the door. And not because, they're not going to get Leon Draisaitl in the draft. They're going to be drafting too low. And unfortunately for Edmonton, like Montreal and like Winnipeg and like Calgary, like Matthew Tkachuk is not going to ask to leave Calgary to go to Edmonton. Go back to the last five best players who've asked for Artemi Panarin is not going to want to leave the Rangers to go to Edmonton. Adam Fox is not going to say, I'm not going anywhere but New York. So it sucks. But I think that this is going to get pretty pressing here for the Oilers. I think this year's their best opportunity to get it done.
Can you imagine? I think Leon Draisaitl going to free agency will be, in my lifetime, the biggest free agent ever. I cannot imagine the frenzy.
I think he's going to get dealt. I think he's going to get dealt next summer. Next deadline.
Dealt has got to be dealt this
at the deadline. You're never going to get the value that you're going to get.
If he gets traded, it'll be this summer.
I just get the feeling the Oilers are going to panic. Especially if they don't win this year, they're going to panic. They're going to have to do something. They're going to wait. They're going to get some sort of crazy offer towards the end, near the trade deadline, and he's going to get dealt. That's the way I see this playing out.
If you're Edmonton, you have to go all in. If you don't win this year, you have to go all in. There's no choice. This is your chance, man. There's nothing you're going to get back in value.
They've been all in all the time. It's just that their front office thought that, was it Campbell that they signed to a 4 or 5 year deal? They're all in. They went and got Evander Kane. They went and got Ekholm.
Evander Kane. These guys were all flyers. They didn't go and get their problem was goaltending, and they never really.
Dave, they went and got. I understand that, but they went and got Evander Kane, who I'm not even going to check. I would imagine had at least 3 30-goal seasons in his back pocket.
Yeah, but he was.
I was as legit as a consummate professional defenseman as you can. He's not Roman Josi, but man. Yeah. That guy can handle 25 minutes of an NHL playoff game. They went in free agency and hit a grand slam with Zach Hyman. So when you say that, are they all in? What else do they have to do for you to
get a goaltender? Get a goaltender.
But they tried. They tried. In their defense, they got Campbell, and they tried.
That's the thing. You can talk about, are they all in? Being all in is that you're making moves. They're making moves. Now, not every move is going to – one of them is going to be a terrible goalie with a terrible contract, and the other guy's going to be a 50-goal scorer. Zach Hyman wasn't supposed to score that goals, and their goalie was supposed to be letter. So when you say they're all in, they're off. Their front has made moves. Some of them have been utter failures, and some of them have been very good. Like the Ekholm acquisition, gold.
Amazing.
Kane, very good. So they've made their move.
Yeah, all right. Fair enough. We'll move on to our final question here. We're starting time.
You want to know where Draisaitl's going, Dave?
Yes. Well, that's the next question.
Rangers.
Yeah. He's going to Philadelphia.
Oh, look at that.
Whoa.
Okay. All right.
Whoa. All right. I'm gonna write that in my book, and we're gonna revisit that maybe
Right.
next week. That's
With
exciting.
perfect.
All right.
I'm
So
gonna
question
say
number. Sorry. No. Go ahead.
I'm gonna say New York or LA. I'm gonna make it easy.
Yeah. Boring. Boring.
I know.
All right. Question number 5 brought to you by Les Entrepôts Zenium. Great little outlet for if you want your home decor stuff. You can get them at 85% off. This is the last weekend that you have. They are closing on Sunday. 85% off, honest retail prices, and they pay the taxes right now. You can get an absolute steal, and I'm sure if you go in there on the last weekend and say, let's talk, I'm sure they'll listen. So this is your chance now to get anything: lamps, rugs, clocks, artwork, anything for the house, coffee tables. They have it all. Lighting for ceiling lights, everything. So just go in there and you'll like it. 5850 Boulevard Métropolitain Est. All right, guys. My final question is a bit of a buzz that's been going around Habs Reddit. And if you're into that, Habs Twitter or Habs X, whatever you want to call it. Patrik Laine has been a topic of conversation. Obviously, drafted second overall right after Austin Matthews. Didn't really work. Well, I mean, it worked out in Winnipeg, but didn't work out in the end. But he was good in Winnipeg. Moved to Columbus, quietly good in Columbus. But rumors are having it that he might be available. So my question to you: we often talk about what to do in the off season, and is Ken Hughes going to shoot big and go after a big fish? Would you see Patrik Laine joining the Canadiens? And is that a risk, or is it a risk even? And is it something you'd like to see happen?
Yes, it's a risk. No, I don't want to see it.
Oh, really?
Yeah, no, enough. Look,
wow.
No, just I know that you hope that he's got some battles off the ice, and you hope it works out from that standpoint. But big body, I get that. But no, I'm gonna say continue to shop elsewhere.
All right. That surprises me a little bit. Okay, I mean, fair enough. I mean, you have to do your due diligence, to be fair. But George,
I mean, asking price is going to be the number one factor here, right? So I'm not doing anything crazy. I'm not going to give a core piece to acquire Patrik Laine. What I will do though, that number 26 pick, Jordan Harris, and say Owen Beck, Joshua Roy, maybe one of these guys. I'll give one of these guys and bring me some Patrik Laine. Bring me some 6'5", 205-pound, 200 goals in 480 games. Patrik Laine on the Montreal Canadiens. I am down, my friend. I am definitely down if the price is right, because the upside is meteoric, and the downside is he doesn't play for the Canadiens anymore after next year, and I'm okay with that. I think.
How many years does he have left on his contract?
I think he's got 1 year. 1 year left. So
that's that changes a little bit. If he's only got this year, I would imagine this year and one more, right?
Yeah, exactly.
So maybe it changes a little bit, but yeah. But George, it's I'm not crazy about the player, but just tell me what am I paying for this player? If you're telling me even less than what George brought up, yeah, I'll have that conversation. But I'm not Joshua Roy.
Maybe not Joshua Roy, but I mean, if they're they're able to accept some sort of ensemble package that I'm willing to give up. It doesn't have to be Joshua Roy. Maybe it's Owen Beck. Maybe it's somebody else. Maybe it's an Evans or someone. I don't know. But what I'm trying to say is, if the asking price is right, this is the type of player that fits perfectly for what the Montreal Canadiens and Ken Hughes want to do. A high draft pick, high ceiling, a guy that can put pucks in the net. And damn, he'd look good in a Montreal Canadiens uniform with that blonde hair on the side, just coming out of the helmet and everything. I'm totally down for it. Give me Patrik Laine. I love this guy coming out of, out of Finland, and he dominated the World Juniors. He was a hell of a hockey player. He's had his off ice problems. He's been in the players program. So hopefully all that's resolved. That would be an issue as well to figure out. Have the conversation with him and his agent and see where he's at. But a healthy 6'5", 205-pound power forward. It could help a lot of hockey teams, not just the Montreal Canadiens. And I'm all for it if Ken Hughes wants to bring him in and do a little tryout here for 2 years. I'm down for it.
Yeah, I mean, they'd have to do their due diligence for sure and see what's going on there. But I mean, he's a 3-time 30-goal scorer. He scored 44 goals at his peak. And quietly in Columbus, he's a point-a-game player. He's had shortened seasons, 56, 55 games, but he's a point-a-game player in his 2 seasons that he's played there.
He would fit. He would fit. Honestly,
you have his contract in front of you.
I don't have his contract, but I could get that for you. What do you?
So Simon, I think he would fit in perfectly, and the reason is, look, he's a right-handed shot. He can play, both wings, but he's a right winger, and he can slot so nicely. I can just see him playing with the guy, another kind of player like him, Josh Anderson. I think it would create some serious space on the ice, and I don't know. I see the fit. I like it.
8.7 this year, 8.7 next year, the following year, and then you're done. You're done.
Yeah.
I'm willing to do it. I'm willing to do it.
But it's not, yeah.
What do you want? You want Evans? You want Struble? You want a first?
Sure, unrestricted free agent Jake Evans is what exactly Columbus.
Yes, I agree. I
think it'll be a bit more pricier.
Look, like I said, I'm spitballing. It starts with the first. It starts with one of the defensemen, Justin Barron. Which one they want, I don't know. Evans, Struble. I'm willing to give him Harris, and then a prospect, maybe not one of our top prospects, maybe someone else, and no problem. Let's do this. Let's get it done.
All right, let's get it done. Famous last words. All right. Thanks a lot, guys.
No problem. And you know who could be on the other side of that phone when Ken Hughes calls? Could be Mark Bergevin. Could be Mark Bergevin on the other. Could be Mark Berge. Berge on the phone. We got Berge.
They just hired their general manager.
Did they hired? Okay, I missed that. Who did they hire?
Somebody was hired recently.
Don Waddell.
Yeah.
Oh, it's not done yet. That's not done yet.
Yeah, but it's looking. It's looking
not
like
done
it's
yet. So I'm saying Berge could still answer that phone. Berge could be on the other side, and the bicep team. You never know. They could do us a solid.
All right. Thanks a lot, guys, for watching. Follow us on Instagram, Twitter, TikTok, and subscribe to us on YouTube at The Starter 690. Thanks a lot, boys.
All
See you
right,
next week.
Take care, guys.